moving on to our next topic. This is a bigger one. It encompasses a lot of things that have been going on in the last couple of weeks, but I feel like we need to talk about it. But this was very much the week where we realized that the American empire is like super hard to quit cold turkey, just harder than vaping. There's been a lot of mixed messages from the Biden administration when it comes to foreign policy, leaving us to wonder whether the next 4 years will be status quo G.I. Joe. Signs that point to yes, it will be status quo, not enacting any consequences on the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, even though we know that he personally ordered the killing and dismemberment of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Biden apparently had a whole phone call with NBS and Mohammed bin Salman, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, and like it didn't come up, or he didn't talk about it.
Come on, man! Why'd you do that thing?
Yeah,
with Khashoggi.
Yeah, man. It's just so that's just malarkey right there. That is malarkey. But I feel like it was
that
more
ain't cool, man.
It was a little bit of like, probably went down like the Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David stares down someone who he's suspicious of. Just for a reminder, it's like this. Did you do it? Did you really do it? Are you sure you didn't do it? Like, he gave him a stern staring at, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The woke Haida Brigade is coming to cancel dismembering now. Come on, guys. Friends have to respect each other's differences. And Francesca, you're a vegetarian. I'm not. We agree to disagree. You want to dismember journalists, and we just let the CIA hound them until they commit suicide. R.I.P. Gary Webb. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. I'm shocked that the right wing hasn't tried to put the murder of Jamal Khashoggi under the umbrella of free speech, because that's everything these days. That's the right for Josh Hawley to get his book published by a primary publisher. Right. That's the right for right-wingers not to be criticized. And maybe it was always the right to murder, too. It's a very expansive right, that First Amendment. That's why it's first. But yeah, I mean, it's like, well, just quickly.
Yeah.
So the Trump administration had that intel that whole time about MBS murdering Jamal Khashoggi. We all knew this. The media was up in arms and immensely critical of Trump, rightly so, for not acting on that and, in fact, embracing MBS and the Saudi Arabian government to a degree that we haven't really seen, based on, or not that we haven't seen, but even more brazenly so, based on also business relationships between the Trump administration and Saudi Arabia.
To the podcast listeners, if you don't know, MBS stands for Miritable Bowel Syndrome.
Yes, obviously. And then also Mohammed bin Salman, people forget. So
Potato.
So now this information's brought to light, and the Biden administration thinks, as if we release this report to the media, that's going to take the heat off of us for us to do anything at all.
Right.
And it kind of worked. And so that was for me the first real, okay, this is when the Trump people, they're unhinged in so many ways, but why the kernel of truth that starts every conspiracy theory is that the media hates Trump and they're biased against him. They are giving Biden a free pass on this to a large degree. And I know Dana Bash has talked to Jen Psaki about this, but they were so outraged, rightly so, about the allowance of this murder and the enabling by the Trump administration. And we've not seen a proportionate response from the media on Biden basically taking the same substantive action by not holding them accountable in any way. Or Absolutely. Him accountable. It's like they're going to sanction sections of Saudi Arabia, but not sanction the murderer personally. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're stopping some arms trades. They're stopping, I think, obviously the working with Saudi Arabia in Yemen when it comes to that awful war, which is good. These are steps in the right direction. But absolutely, it's like, okay, you just verified shit we already, you could easily just not do that. Like, transparency is not always better. Look, Sometimes it's not always better, especially if you're going to sit on it and not do anything concrete about it.
Well, and also this war on Yemen thing. They're stopping selling arms specifically for the usage of genocide in the war on Yemen, basically, and in that war. But they're still allowing arms sales for the defense of Saudi Arabia's border. Where is that border that they're talking about the defense of with Yemen? So we are still funding the war in Yemen, and the language is very precise in that way. So in terms of foreign policy, I would just say this off the bat: Biden's already behaving like a moderate Republican.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the Bitchuation Room podcast live stream. And while you're here, why don't you just subscribe to this channel? I promise it'll be good. Promise.